In this video, I'm going to be using the spindle moulder to create the mould for our worktop white fillets. In the technical drawing at the beginning, you can see what I'm working from. We always use the same mould when making white fillets, so we don't get a drawing for the shape, but this drawing lets me know the dimensions and how much material I'll need. The first step is to deconstruct the spindle, place the correct cutters in the cutting block, and set the spindle up. To do this, I've ensured the machine is switched off at the plug. Once the correct cutters are in the block, I place the block on the spindle shaft and ensure that it is on securely. Then, with the machine still off, I adjust the height of the cutter until it is sitting where I want. I am not doing the whole cut in one go, so I do not need to check this for quality control, as long as it is about 1 millimeter lower than the finished height. I then set up the spindle fence. There is no adjustment left from the last use of the spindle, so I set this back up and check the fences are sitting level with each other, using a steel rule. I then add my sacrificial MDF fence, which covers as much of the cutting area as possible for safety, and add the hood that covers the blade and also helps with extraction. Next, I turn the spindle on and break through the sacrificial fence with the cutting block. I then check that the cut is where I want it on the timber and adjust the fence until I'm happy with it. Once happy, I turn off the machine and add my guarding. This guarding helps to ensure my safety, as it makes the blade less accessible to any fingers, but also gives me a better cut on the timber. I get a better cut using the guarding as it applies equal and consistent pressure to the timber running past the cutting block, ensuring the cut is smooth and even all the way along. I first add the spring guard, which applies downward pressure to the timber, and then I add the fingerboard. I had to adjust the fingerboard slightly as it was too high from a previous job. The fingerboard needs to apply pressure where the timber will remain square on the fence. As I'm making the cut at the bottom of my timber, my fingerboards need to sit towards the top of the workpiece, where no cut is being made. I asked my colleague to push the fingerboard into the timber while I secured it with clamps, in order to apply as much pressure as possible for the best cut. Here I'm trying to show you that I have already rebaited the timber so that I'm not cutting so much timber in one go. My cut will be easier and cleaner as I have removed the bulk of the material already. Once set up, running the job is the easy bit. I push each piece of timber through all my guarding past the cutting block to apply the mould. Once this is done, I set up for my second and final cut. I've done this in 2 cuts to get a cleaner result. On the second run, the cutter is removing less than 1 millimeter of material, which will help to reduce any breakout that may happen along the grain and will give a clean finish. Once I'm happy and have quality checked the dimensions, I set all the guarding back up again and run the timber.